Welcome back. Many ranchers consider it the most important part of their wardrobe. We're talking about the cowboy hat. Each one is unique and says a lot about the person wearing it. We had a chance to learn more about the function and fashion of today's cowboy hats from our friends at Greeley Hat Works.
Hi, I'm Trent Johnson. Welcome to Greeley Hat Works. Let me tell you about my store. Well, it started out as Greeley Hat and Shine Parlor in 1909 in downtown Greeley. And it was started by two Greek brothers. I'm actually the fourth hat maker to own it. And I was an apprentice here for 3.5 years before I bought it. First thing is definitely very much customer based, is being able to talk to the customer about, you know, besides just color and style, but what's the function of the hat? How do they wear a hat? How are they going to use the hat? That only helps us determine kind of how to build it, not just for dimensions and shape, but also helps us give recommendations and suggestions on what quality of hat they should get and why. We have got to build hats for lots of famous folks, like I think the last 10 presidents of the NCBA. That was at the top, and then after that, you know, we got to do President Bush a few times. And then he hooked us up with some other people like Vladimir Putin and Secretary General of the United Nations, the Emir of Kuwait, Rudy Giuliani, lots of other people. Really, the importance of having something handcrafted, because, I mean, there are nice machine-made hats. I mean, a lot of the brand X type big box hat companies, they do have some nice products, but there's no ownership of that hat. I'm not running a factory here. My whole thing is about the ownership of the hat. So when an order comes in, whether it's an individual or a store, one of my guys or gals gets that order from start to finish, except for the parts, you know, like Sharon prints all the sweatbands and sews them together. But as far as building the hats, everybody gets and puts their initials in it. So if the customer's really happy, we know who built the hat. And if there is an issue, there's no passing the buck. It isn't like, oh yeah, processor number 14 forgot to do that part of the step. And we all take great ownership in being able to build good products. So one of the fun things about either, you know, coming into our store here in Greeley, visiting one of our retail partners, or finding us at a show on the road, is being able to help create your hat. You know, so in our store and a lot of our trade show displays, we have a lot of hats like these that are open and flat that haven't been shaped. And these are just waiting for owners to give them the character that they need. I mean, creases in hats are very personal. It's kind of an extension of your personality. So on this one, this is a nice light tan hat called this is called Sahara. This is a binding and a 12-line ribbon. This gives it a little bit of an Old West flair, but it's still a very functional hat. And then when you go in a little bit more contemporary, a lot of the newer hats have more of a shoveled or squared crease across here. Once again, now we've still got a ribbon band on here, but this is a kind of a spin-off of the open road type ribbon without the tails, something we call it a J-bow. But once again, the binding on most hats doesn't really serve a function as much as of a type of style. Now this is one of my most favorite colors. This is natural beaver. There's no bleach or dye. It's a very nice neutral color. It's the same color as dirt, and it'll go with anything your wife makes you wear. So this one is always a safe bet. Our buckle sets on all of our beaver blends and pure beavers are sterling silver, hand engraved, made here in the US by Americans. I know it's a novel concept, but it still does happen. And then, as we were talking earlier about some of the upgrades, this is a finger carved sweatband. So it's all hand carved. We could put your name in there, we could put a brand or something. And once again, it really doesn't serve a function, but it looks really nice and would definitely make any owner proud. Same quality as all of our other hats. The PBR line has a PBR buckle, PBR markings on the inside on the sweatband and the liner. But once again, can be customized in 9 different colors and about any type of style. So a lot of what we see around the US, especially with national cattlemen and more beef producers and farmers and ranchers, is more of a cattleman style. Once again, it's probably not out of function anymore as much as it used to be, but I mean, this is what Dad wore, this is what Grandpa wore, so it's gonna kind of be your own type of family tradition. But we put lots of different spins on it and can make any kind of hat you'd like.
It's amazing to see those hats being made, and I must admit, even more amazing to wear one. For more information on Greeley Hat Works, just visit cattlemen2cattlemen.org.